First of all, thank you all for being here. There's a lot of places you could have chosen to be, and you decided to be in this steakhouse. Talk about elegant and beautiful. I walked outside, I'm like, is this place even open? Like, did all my teammates lie to me? Are they gonna mug me inside? And then you walk in and it looks like a speakeasy in here. And I mean that in the most respectful of ways. And if I were to try and attempt to thank all the teammates that made this possible, I would forget some names, I would shame myself, I would feel terrible. So can you please join me in just giving a little bit of love for the Texas Mastery team? That would be how So friends, listen, we do not know each other. My name is Fernando Valencia. I traveled from the great state of New Jersey to be here with you, yes, for 30 hours. Where we have one Jersey person, everyone else hates Jersey. Cool, awesome. It's gonna be a nice crowd. And I have a very serious question. So my co-founder, Sean Callagy, founder of Callagy Recovery, and a significant other have been in a brutal debate for years. And I would love some data from all of you to help me settle this debate. And the debate is Texas in the West or is Texas in the South? South. Okay, so this is really important, and this is the most important thing that we're gonna complete here together. If it's in the West, can you just please raise your hand if Texas is in the West? Okay, we got one strong gentleman, thank you. If Texas is in the South, raise your hand. All right, brother, you have lost that battle. So thank you.
Anybody from the South?
Unless you live in Midland.
Excellent. Anyone in the South would disagree. Thank you for that. Debate settled. I will bring back the information that the Texans have close to unanimously agreed that Texas is officially in the South. But you're not here to settle my personal debates. You're here to receive value. I have a 45-minute timer in my pocket. Some of you just gasped. I'll do my best to make this educational, certainly entertaining, but the truth is I hope to create incredible value. And what would be helpful to understand a bit of who's in the crowd, because I understand every time I speak, I have the privilege of speaking about 1,500 times a year, over 1,000 times on this topic. There's always different listenings in the room. So if you are a medical provider, a surgeon, and you're in the medical community, just please raise your hand. Okay, awesome. If you service the medical community, meaning you own a business that sells service and products to the medical community, please raise your hand. And if you're part of an association, leadership, and you serve members as an association, which is probably my one gentleman to my left, please raise your hand. Right. Give it up for Sam, representing the Common Bay Medical Association. Grateful that you're here. And so that helps understand. So some of you know why you're here. Some of you have no idea why you're here. And some of you came here for the food. So I'm going to speak into all that listening. Whether you know why you're here, you don't know why you're here, or you came here for the food, and someone told you that there's going to be an acrobatic act, and we were going to be entertained and eat some food. If someone told that to you, they lied. So I'm sorry in advance for that. But now, let's step into a conversation. And I just want to get this out of the way, not to impress you, but just to impress upon you. Because every time I speak, a percentage of the room, someone is going to say, why should I listen to a 33-year-old, which, P.S., I turned 34 on Saturday. Thank you for that. And some of you are like, I could be your father. I have tax receipts older than you, or whatever it is. And that would be a very valid point. And I would not be offended if some of you are thinking that. What I would say to you lovely, and a team in the back of the kitchen, if we could just please hold the volume, Lance, if you can hook it up. I think you might be asking an incorrect question. The proper question is, why does Beth McKenna, who was voted the #1 woman in financial services by Merrill Lynch, by Forbes magazine, why does the same 33-year-old coach her? Why does the same 33-year-old have the privilege of coaching Maritza, who is a former senior executive at Exxon, a Fortune 10 company? Why does that same 33-year-old work with Matthew Ailman, who is on the board of the New York State Society of CPAs? And why does that same 33-year-old work with Andrea Catania, who's on the board of the National Investment Banking Association, securities attorney, who's taken 7 companies public in the 7 different ways, 200 companies public in the 7 different ways that you can. And just for fun energy, why would that same 33-year-old be coaching Dr. Pano Churchill, who was Winston Churchill's grandson, who created the antibiotics for tuberculosis, to which I caused him to have a standing ovation at the United Nations, P.S. I don't even know how to spell tuberculosis. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a wealth advisor. I'm not a lawyer. I've never had a corporate job in my life. So why do those humans work with me? And the answer is because every human you will ever meet wants more of something. They want to either A, make more money, B, they have all the money, they want more time for you. If they have all the time, they want more magic. And not like weird, voodoo, occult stuff. Magic like the feelings of life that matter. The things that bring fulfillment to your life. Love, fulfillment, travel. So just as a quick self-assessment, and if you don't want to play the game, you don't have to do anything. This is America, and we're in God's country here in Texas for sure. Just so I can have an idea of who I'm speaking to, and I do this all the time, is everyone typically wants all three. You want more money, more time, more magic. And the way it works is that it just makes a lot more sense to get your money straight so that you can buy back your time, so you can experience more fulfillment. Everyone is going to want one of the three more right now than the others. And there's nothing wrong with the more that you want. So some of you are going to want to make more money. So let me ask the question this way. If you would work an extra 10 hours a week, if you would work an extra 10 hours a week to double your income, just please raise your hand. If you would work 10 hours a week to double your income. If that's you, that means you want more money. No problem, nothing wrong with it. So thank you for self-identifying. If you have all the money you desire, like, dude, I wouldn't work an extra hour to double my income. I am happy with where I am with money. I'm all good. What I want now is more time freedom. I want freedom of choice, duplication, scale. I want to be able to spend time with my kids. I want to be able to spend time away from my kids. No judgment. Then you would be in the time category. If you have all the money you desire, but what you really want more of is time, please raise your hand. Okay, we got a couple time folks. Perfect. And if you have all the money you desire, you have all the time freedom you desire. But the real reason you wake up every morning, put your pants on, and show up to a room like this is P.S. Here's what we have in common. We all want more. Unless, I don't think any of you were forced to be here. You were here for a reason. Whatever that is for you, I don't know your names, but I'm sure there's a reason why you're here. If you have all the money you want, all the time freedom you want, but the third thing you desire the most is more magic, impact. For some of you, it's raising money for charity. For some of you, it's building a nonprofit. For some of you, it's starting a church. For some of you, it's taking travel. Whatever it is for you, I'm not asking, but if your dominant desire right now in life is more magic, please raise your hand. All right, beautiful. Thank you. And just give me my round of applause. That's awesome. It's a beautiful place to be, and clearly you're around great people because you're all hanging out at the same table. So all my magic people are just, without even knowing it, they're all just sort of chilling together. Magic people attract magic people. All right, so now, why are we here? We're here to discuss a ton and a plethora of different conversations. I have the privilege of owning several companies, of which I'm not going to discuss about all of them, but Sean Callaghan, who is my co-founder, mentor, and in December, this December, Sean Callaghan will be the first human in the history of humanity to be the first blind, self-funded unicorn founder. In the history of humanity. You're the only golf player, thank you for that. And that is in the history of humanity. To be the first ever blind, self-funded unicorn founder. He is the founder of County Law. He is the founder of County Recovery. He's a co-founder of Unblinded with Me. We also own a financial company called Contemporary Financial. And we own what we say publicly will be the first ever quadrillion-dollar business in the next 10 years called Actualized Intelligence. What is that? Actualized Intelligence, what Microsoft was to IBM, they became the operating system for all of computers. Actualized Intelligence will become the operating system for all of artificial intelligence. I do not have the time to discuss that today. Truth, that's what I'm most passionate about, and I want to be respectful because we were designed here to talk about county recovery. But if we have some time at the end, I would love to take out my phone, call one of the agents, do a little exercise, have a little fun, share her number with you, and maybe you can experience the future of actualized intelligence for yourself. But now let's drop into medical revenue recovery. And I'm going to set the table, as Lance McGee likes to say, this way. There's typically 5 things everyone wants to know when we begin the conversation of medical revenue recovery. 1, who the heck are we? What reputation do we have? And why should you even care? That's number 1. Number 2 is, what exactly do you mean by medical revenue recovery? What is that? I just don't understand, sir. Number 3 is, how does the business model work? Who are you helping? How does it impact? Does money grow on trees? Does it come from a store? Does it float from the ground? Like, where does the money come from? What are all these things you're talking about? Number 4 is, what's the economic impact to the medical community? And for some of you, it might be number 5. What does that have to do with me? And how can I generate income by doing that in partnership with some of the people in this room? So I'm going to touch on all of those as succinctly as possible. And here's what I ask. Anytime, at any moment, without hesitation, if you have a question, you can shout it out, raise your hand, I will answer it. You will not throw me off my groove. You will not stop me. I'll have a great time. And as long as we have mutual respect, I will answer it with mutual respect. You don't have to wait to the end. I'll create a little pauses just to feel the crowd out. But at any time, if you're like, dude, you're talking too fast, I don't understand, what does that mean? Say it a different way. Just stop me and I'll answer it. Because what you receive is so much more important than anything I have to say. Can we be in agreement with that? So please, just a very gentle yes. Is that a question or just a yes? Thank you. Your name? David. Thank you for being here. So let's drop in. Let's start off with, who the heck are we? What's our reputation? And why the heck should we care? So Carnegie Law is a law firm that started 28 years ago. Please, in the great state of New Jersey. That's all. I only showed that in once. And we started as a healthcare law firm. And we have 3 main verticals. We have workers' compensation, personal injury protection, and commercial insurance. We also do transactional litigation, IP work, other things, but for the sake of this conversation, a healthcare law firm. We represent everyone except the insurance companies. If you love insurance companies, say yes. If you're a secret spy from insurance companies, say yes. There's always one. Got my eye on it. So we represent everyone but the insurance companies. So in 28 years, we have held a very prestigious record, at least in the state of New Jersey, of owning over 51% of the entire marketplace in those verticals, which means if you take every other competitive law firm in New Jersey, slam them together, we have more business than they do combined, and we've held that record for 28 years. Now, fast forward, in 2022, there was a law that was passed called the No Surprises Act. Who here has no idea what the No Surprises Act is? Just show of hands. 3, 4, 5. All right. So minority, and my nephew Alex, who lives here, who I don't think has seen me speak in many years, and I'm very grateful to be able to have some family time. He has no idea why he's here. He's on the list. He came here for the food, that's for sure. Yes, and to spend some time with his own. So I will explain what it is for my folks over here, and I'll presume that most of you are experts, and I'll just tee it up a little bit. So in 28 years, we've recovered a total of $1.17 billion for our medical clients. Last month, we recovered $50.7 million for our medical clients. We're currently on pace doing $2 million a day for our medical clients. We will do $600 million in 2025 for our medical clients, and we're on pace to do $100 million a month as of December of this month, which means that in 2026, we will do $1.2 billion recovered for our medical clients. For all those, thank you, for all those keeping score at home, it took us 27 years, 28 years to do $1.17 billion. We will do $1.2 billion in 2026 alone. Why? Because of the passage of the No Surprises Act. Now, let me tell you why that is uncool and doesn't matter, but does matter for the sake of speaking into all the different listeners. Because in May of this year, 2025, we were invited to speak at a private meeting in Washington, D.C. with Health and Human Services. We've been asked by Congress to testify against the insurance companies, and I did not get permission to share who said this, but a congressman said that what the insurance companies are doing is satanic. I wouldn't disagree, but not my choice of words. That is what was said. And here's what he meant by satanic. What he meant by satanic is as of May 2026, 90% of the eligible files, claims, surgeries, encounters that could have been eligible for arbitration are currently not, NOT not, being arbitrated for two reasons. Reason number one, lack of education. Reason number two, fear of insurance company retribution. That 90%, thank you, that 90% equates to $500 billion that the insurance companies are stealing from the medical community each and every single year. So I sound pretty cool when we say, hey, we're gonna do $1.2 billion next year, but here's the truth. It's a pimple on the butt cheek of the problem. So why am I here for 30 hours? Because if I don't connect, ecosystem merge with humans, I can't collapse that chasm of lack of education. Why are we working with statewide medical associations? We currently have meetings with 20. We have relationships with 4, one of them in Texas. Thank you to Anthony, Bella, and Sam for opening up those doors. Is because if I try to knock at every office in Texas, that's going to take a really damn long time. With relationships like these, we're able to educate the masses further. P.S. And feel free to challenge me on anything that leaves my mouth. I don't exaggerate. I'll say what I know. I'll say what I don't know. But if a number leaves my mouth, it's because it's absolutely precise, not exaggerated at all, not even a smidgen. So coming back, that's a bit of who we are, what we've done. And Sean Callagy is the visionary behind all of this. He is my coach and mentor. He is the visionary behind Callagy Law. He invented this business in New Jersey. He was in the right place at the right time, Callagy Recovery. He is the visionary and creator of the Unblinded Formula, which coaches and trains everyone that invited you here. If someone invited you here, it's because I coach and work with them directly. Period. No other conversation on that. Actualized Intelligence was also created by him. Even though he's blind, I believe he has more vision than most people, any of us would ever know. He skis, he surfs, he scuba dives, and the dude can't even see. He's taught hundreds of people to ski, scuba dive, and surf. It is extraordinary what this man has done. And that's a bit about who we are, who I am, but now let's step into the nitty-gritty. It's actually Sean Callagy. Hey coach, I'm in front of about 70 people here in Texas. I got you in my ear. Can I put you on speaker and just say hello real quick? That's cool. I was just saying that you're some blind dude that coaches and trains people to surf, ski, and scuba dive. You're going to be the first self-founded blind unicorn founder. Some of them are looking at me like I might be making that up, but I'm going to put you on speaker on my lavalier. Anything that, and none of this was planned, by the way. My phone only rings for my family and him, so I know it's either my family or him, and I answer. So I'm going to put you on speaker. Anything you care to share to these fine folks, Mr. Callagy?
Yes, warm welcome. Thank you for being here.
Can't hear.
Yes?
For many, you got me?
I got you, yeah.
Yeah, so what we did for many years, warm welcome again, what we did for many years in the great state of New Jersey, New York, we're now able to be nationally working with practices across 50 states. Everything from that said is true. I am blind, which this is all in videos online. And I do surf in hurricane conditions. I do ski double black diamonds. I do scuba dive shark at best of waters.
And he also has the appetite of a 14-year-old boy. He likes mozzarella sticks, chicken wings. It's quite weird, but please continue.
Yeah, and I would say this, I was born defective, no money, no resources, defective. 75% of people like me are unemployed, that are blind. And if I could do it, you could do it. We're here to help you grow, build, scale. I thank Lance, I thank Dr. Tony, and the amazing Bella, and Maritza, of course, Nathan Hansen, who did such a beautiful thing in the honor flight, flying commercial airliner last week to honor a 3-time combat tour veteran coming into the Boston airport for the amazing Bella Rita, her dad. We got the amazing Brett Hadley. Anybody I'm missing from the crew? And
So many. And I avoided going through the names, Maritza, so we have the teammates. And Coach Callagy, do you think Texas is in the west or the south?
I'm gonna give a potentially unpopular answer, but since I'm from New Jersey, for me, a fan of the Lone Ranger, he was a Texas Ranger. So Cowboys, the Old West is a thing, but Belgrade insists that it's in the South.
I just want you to know that you totally just lost rapport. You just destroyed everything. There's only one gentleman said West, and everyone else said South, so thank you for making my life difficult. Any other final comments?
I know it's in the South, but I would lead to is the West because of the Lone Ranger and Texas Rangers. Yes, thank you very much. So, now maybe I'll make an answer for you, Fran, and anybody else. Listen, the bottom line is there's money to be had from insurance companies. There's only the beginning of our relationship. It can be so much greater, but don't burn your money. 20 years of advance to people. We're going to collect, I'm not sure from this, $1 billion in the next 12 months on behalf of our healthcare provider clients. $1 billion in the next 12 months. This month alone, we're pushing $75 billion. So we've got this. FGD and
That is all, Coach. Thank you for calling, and I'm quite there.
a man, he went from thinking that likes and shares on Instagram was the highlight of success 5 years ago to training, developing, actualizing some of those influential people in the country in all the biggest verticals. It is amazing to have one of the top 25 speakers on the planet, Frank Valencia, leading that in Texas. And get this straight from my heart, he's not going to be running practice mastery events very shortly. He's trained, developing everybody to do it, and he's going to be speaking on the biggest stages in the world. So you can say that you were there with Fernando when, I assure you that's reality. I love you, brother, and let's go get it.
That is, thank you for that. That is the story of my life. It is always on my toes. So back to the planned and scheduled programming. So what the heck is medical revenue recovery, right? First, let me tell you what it is not. We are not a billing company. We are not a revenue cycle management company. And we absolutely do not collect or hunt money from patients. We're not a collections agency. We are an out-of-network arbitration company that works primarily through the No Surprises Act and the federal IDR system, helping out-of-network surgeons who are doing work in the emergency room work with patients who are out-of-network with commercial insurance, recover money that is underpaid to them by insurance companies. That is what it is with massive specificity. Quick history, which happened here in your great country of Texas. The Texas Medical Association had a lawsuit with Health and Human Services, and they nationalized what is now known as the No Surprises Act. That's obviously we were a healthcare law firm, we were doing our thing, we were a multiple 8-figure law firm, we were in 7 states. When 2022 happened, we had 180 employees. We took 80 of them, we moved them to a sister company called Cala E-Recovery for a couple of reasons. One, because the law stated that you did not have to be a law firm to do this business. Why does it matter? Because we're capitalists, we're entrepreneurial, thank God we live in capitalist America. And as you all know, law firms are not allowed to share revenue with non-law firms. Yes, there's a whole ABS dynamic, but it's complicated. The point is, you can't fee split, you can't commission share as a law firm, it's illegal. I'm not saying people don't do it, I'm not judging them, we just don't. So we created Cala E-Recovery because we can share revenue with people, folks, doctors, surgeons, associations. It became an incredible economic engine, which we did not have for 28 years. So that answers a bit about who we are, that answers a bit about what exactly is medical revenue recovery. I'm going to go into plate number 3, which is just how does it all work? Where does the money come from? What does it all mean? Before I go any further, just a quick commercial break. And Lance, if I could please have a glass of water. Yep. Would appreciate it. Any questions that I can answer for anyone about anything that's been shared so far? Anyone? Cool. So let's move on. So how does this all work? So the fastest way to get through this question is through a story, right? Quick fun fact, I had no idea Dallas was so windy. I walked here from the downtown area, I'm like, this is crazy. I've never been to Dallas, it's my first time in Dallas. I thought it was like hot and desert and cactus, and I had no idea it was this windy. Do you mind if I put this right? So this would be a perfect story. Now that I know it's actually windy in Texas, it would have made no sense, but now it's perfect. So the way it is, let's pretend we have a friend, right? And let's call this friend Bobby, right? If you have a Bobby, it's not that Bobby, it's another Bobby. So let's pretend we all have a friend named Bobby, right? And Bobby is on the 2nd floor of his house, and he decided to be a hero and clean his own gutters. Why he would do that, I don't know, but he decided to clean his own gutters. His wife's in the living room, his daughter's in her room reading a book, and his son is playing video games down in the basement. He's cleaning the gutters. A gust of wind comes, throws Bobby off the ladder. He falls into a bush, he cracks his skull, he breaks his elbow, he gets a bunch of lacerations. The wife hears a thump, looks outside the window, and screams. Runs outside, and through pure adrenaline, is able to pick him up and shove him in a corner. In that moment, here's what Bobby's wife is not thinking. I hope the hospital I'm going to take my husband to is in network and accepts my insurance. Can we all agree that is not what Bobby's wife is thinking? If so, say yes.
Yes.
What she's thinking is, my husband going to die? Are my kids not going to have a father? That's what she's thinking about. So they drive to the nearest emergency room, insert hospital here, and they admit him, they bring him in, and there's a couple people that are called. Maybe there's some employed surgeons, maybe there's a few that are on call. And let's say there's a neurosurgeon who's called, an orthopedic surgeon who's called, a plastic surgeon who's called. Let's go, Tommy, the orthopedic surgeon, is at his kid's soccer game, gets a phone call. Bobby fell off a house, you need to come in, you gotta fix his elbow like stat. Tommy has to leave his son playing soccer and go save Bobby's elbow. So for the sake of the speed of the story, let's pretend all these surgeons come in, they take care of Bobby. The next day he walks out, he holds his wife's hand, he's alive, he's well, his kids are there, and the whole hospital goes crazy. Life is good for Bobby. Except 6 months later, Bobby gets hit with a $500,000 bill. Make the sound of how you would feel if you got a $500,000 bill in the mail. Yes, the silence says it all. So that would, if you would enjoy getting that bill, say yes. No smart A's here. So the law, the No Surprises Act, was created to stop that from happening. The No Surprises Act nationalized surprise billing laws. That $500,000 bill was a surprise bill. So now, Bobby's part of the story is over. Bobby does not have to pay that money. He does not owe that money. He is protected. It was created for the American people to not have to be surprised by those bills. Medical debt is a leading driver in divorce, suicide, debt, and many other things that are very not positive. So Bobby exits stage left. Bobby's done. Bobby's not involved in the rest of the story. He doesn't have to take another phone call, doesn't have to go to court, doesn't have to give information, doesn't have to deal with insurance companies. Bobby is chilling. Bobby is chilling. Now, insert the problem, who we are, what we solve in the model. So now there's Tommy, the orthopedic surgeon. And for the sake of easy math, let's say Tommy charges $10,000 to do that elbow operation on Bobby. The way it works is that Bobby now needs to bill, Tommy now needs to bill Bobby's insurance, and he needs to be treated as if he was in network. Does anyone not know what in and out of network is? Just out of curiosity. Okay, perfect. So he needs to bill Bobby's insurance, commercial insurance, as if he's in network. So the way it works is insurance companies, they're going to use what's known as an average QPA, an average in-network rate, which typically is about 5 to 10% of the bill. So if Tommy says, hey, I deserve $10,000, the insurance company goes, ha, ha, here's $1,000. So Tommy has a couple options. Tommy could A, write off his losses, which is what most of the community does. 2, they could be an ostrich. They could put their head in the sand and go, I don't want to deal with this, I don't want to deal with this. 3, they could hire their best friend from college, their ex-girlfriend, their sister, or their dog to do their billing in their office, pay them $25 an hour. And whether they help Tommy collect $1 million a year or $4 a year, they start at 9, end at 5, and they're thinking about their 2 weeks paid vacation. Nothing wrong with being an employee. They're just not incentivized to maximize Tommy's profits. Option 4 is they can presume their billing or revenue cycle management company is doing it. We love working with them, but think of it this way. If you go to New York, if you ever go to New York, and you want the best pizza in New York, how many of you are going to go to Olive Garden to get the best pizza? Yeah, probably not. You're gonna go to the best pizza joints. So I love billing companies. I love revenue cycle management companies. They're Olive Garden. That's not an insult. They do a lot of things. And most of them do it extraordinarily well. We don't. We only do one thing. Out-of-network arbitration through the No Surprises Act. That is what we do. We're the top 10 filers in America. We average 5,000 cases a month. That is just who we are, what we do, and we do it incredibly well. Quick side story, because I hear all the time when I'm speaking or on the phone with people, it's, dude, I'm in network. This has nothing to do with me. You said this is only for out-of-network ER commercial insurance. I'm going to tell now, this has nothing to do with me. Here's the truth, here's a dramatic statement, you're the problem. You're not fully the problem, but you are at cause at being the problem. Here's a trick question. Has the in-network rates gone up or down in the last 10 years, please? Yeah, I heard up. What was it? Down. Yes, I'm kidding. I didn't hear up. He was like, dude. No, I'm just kidding. I heard down. So have they gone down by a little or by a lot? A lot. So who's dealt with this scenario, or knows a friend that knows a friend that knows a friend that goes, hey, insurance company, I know you own my life and all the things, and you haven't given me a raise in 10 years, but can you give me more money? And they go, no. And then they go back and go, hey, insurance company, I'd like to really nicely ask you to please give me more money. And they go, no. And then they go, great, we have a plan. Please call one more time. Hey, insurance company, if you call me again, I'm going to cut off your in-network rates. Shut up, sit down, you're not getting more money. And the providers go, okay, got it, all good. Here's why it's a problem. It's a problem because they don't realize they have leverage. Because what they should be doing is going like this. I was going to do the middle finger, but I don't want to offend anybody, so just insert middle finger here and go, check this out, insurance company. I know about this thing called the NSA. I'm going to go out of network because you suck and you don't pay me. And I'm going to go make a bunch of money with this crazy dude named Fernando in Cali Recovery, and you can't do a single thing about it. And then we're going to go work together, make a ton of money, and then eventually they can go back and say, hey, listen, I've made millions of dollars in the out-of-network space through arbitration. Do you want to negotiate with me and increase my in-network rates? Personally, I would tell them to never do that, but I'm not here to tell you what to do. It's your decision, it's your entrepreneurial risk. But if I were you, I would never do that. Ever, period, hard stop, no comment. So for all my in-network folks, here's what I did not just say. You should go out of networks 100%. You would be misquoting me, that's not what I said. What you should do is you should do an analysis of your payer set and look at the worst three and go out of network with them. Test the waters, dip your toe in. I'm like an all head first type of guy, but dip your toe in, test it, and if you like it, go out of network with the next three, the next three, the next three. Because remember, this doesn't hurt your patients at all. If anything, now the greater talent is going to want to do more on call, and it's going to be overall better for the community, better for the in-network rates, and better for the patients. I'll step off my soapbox. That's my take on my in-network friends, just in case you thought I wasn't thinking of you. But now back to the story. So Tommy bills 10 grand, insurance company goes $1,000. Here's how we work, here's our model. We are purely contingent based. What does that mean? It means there's no upfront money exchange to work with us. So for all my people that are like, are you selling me? I don't want to sold anything. Based on the definition of sales, I have to have a product, I have to have a service. You have to give me money before I give you my product or service. That's not my model. So by definition, I don't sell anything. Because we work purely on contingency, which means we only make money when the provider makes money. In addition to that, if the provider wanted to do this him or herself on his own, or hire his sister, girlfriend, or dog, it costs $115 for the CMS, $600 to $900 for the arbitrated body, call it about $1,000 average to try to do this himself or herself, and they're going to do a worse job than we do. So let's pretend I do business with some of you here, or some of you introduced me to Tommy. We sign a BAA, business associate agreement, we sign a CFA, we agree on our money, and we now know Tommy, and we become Tommy's IP, initiated party. Here's how the model goes, where the money comes, and I'm gonna start landing this plane home so we can get to reserve. Tommy bills Bobby's insurance average QPA, 1,000. We put in what's known as an offer to negotiate on Tommy's behalf. We front the money. The insurance company has between 30 and 31 days to respond. Texas, there's a little bit of nuance on the state side, but mostly on the federal, it's about 30 days. And whether the insurance company replies on day 3, 14, 21, or 31, you then have 4 days to go to baseball style arbitration. Now keep in mind, if any of those deadlines is missed by a second, a minute, an hour, a day, you lose. As Willy Wonka said to Charlie, you get nothing. 0. So I say, with complete humility, the greater risk for our medical community is not to work with us, it's to do nothing. Because every 30 days you're taking cash and you're burning it because you're scared and uneducated. That's not an insult, that's what Health and Human Services said. So who here knows or who here has heard the term baseball style arbitration before? So can you say yes? Okay, that is not the majority. So let me explain what that is. This is not the appeal process. This is not ERISA. This is not negotiation, okay? So the way baseball style arbitration works is insurance company, IDRE, independent dispute resolution entity. It's an unbiased middle party. Doesn't work for me, doesn't work for the insurance company. They have no skin in the fight. They only make money by repaying their fee, and they're gonna get the fee whether one person loses or another. They are unbiased. And then there's the provider or us representing the provider. Us representing the provider, IDRE, insurance company. With me, say yes?
Yes.
You sure?
Yep.
All right. So the way it works is everyone has to put in what's known as a reasonable offer. Insurance company says $1,000. I go and we use fair market data, usual and customary rates, complementary CPT codes, comparable surgeries. We have a proprietary process in which we create internally what's known as a packet, and we prove that this surgery is actually worth $8,432. Make up the number. On average, it's about 8 to 12 times more than the underpayment. The IDRE is going to choose one or the other. There is no splitting the baby, no negotiation. 92% of the time, we win this battle. 92% of the time. Now, always there's someone out there, why isn't it 100%? And my answer is because a blind monkey with no pinky can win 100% of the time. Because if I said, hey, I want $1,005, I'm going to win 100% of the time, but I'm going to leave $7,400 on the table. So we learned that you want to be between 85 and 95%. We weigh between 92 and 93 because we want to maximize the earnings. Now, in final, not only do we front the filing fees, if you're a surgeon and we lose 8% of the time, you don't even owe us the money we fronted. So we work on contingency, we front the filing fees, and 8% of the time when we lose, you owe us no money. It's literally an asymmetrical risk. I'm taking all the financial risk. I'm putting in all my time, all the energy, staff, team, and everything to win. And the only way we generate money is if they generate money first. So that is the business model. Before I go into the economic impact, how can we work together and feed you guys, I think, some key lime or some chocolate something. Any questions on the model, how it works, where the money comes from? Yes, sir. The number that I'm citing is. Yes, sir.
That's the total outstanding accounts receivable. What's your revenue on
So I want to make sure I'm answering your question. So the question is, what's our revenue, our calendar recovery on the money we collect? Okay, it's 20% is our average. That varies. So $1,000, $800, $432. We would get 20% on the difference, which is $7,432. We would get 20% of that. Would be our contingency fee, which would be $100 give or take. And then the provider, once that becomes a binding award, the insurance company by law has to pay the provider by 30 days. Here's a disclaimer, they don't. They take about 30, 60, 90. That's where we, our law firm, we start sending missiles. The money goes to the provider directly. We then invoice the provider 20%, and then we do it again and again and again. Did that answer your question? Right, thank you for the question. And your name? Toby. Thank you. I know you. Let's clap it up for Toby. Any other questions on the model before I go into the economic impact of the surgeon and what we can do together? Any questions? Yes, sir.
So with a lot of air stuff with high deductible plans,
A lot of patients going to high deductible plans. The collection. You collect the deductible, so the deductible is the deductible. That stays the same. They get treated as their in-network. You're still going to get underpaid by the insurance company, so the deductible gets covered. The insurance company, whatever the difference is, the insurance company is going to lowball you. That becomes an underpayment, then we come in. As long as it makes economic sense. If we're battling over $200 a bag of peanuts, probably doesn't make sense. There's about $1,000 minimum threshold on where it makes economic sense to do this. We have a 20% or minimum $500 fee for low amount cases. But as long as it makes economic sense, we're willing to arbitrate it if you are. And your name? That answers your question. You sure? Awesome. Thank you, Frederick. You're Frederick. Yes.
Can insurance?
You speak a little louder.
Can insurance companies go back to the physician and say, hey, you're working with this firm, we're losing money, so we want to drop you?
The answer is insurance companies can do whatever the heck they want. We haven't dealt with that at all. Zero, because the truth is, remember, they're still making $500 billion a year. So they just don't care. So this whole fear of insurance company retribution, and this will be the most dramatic thing I'll say, so please excuse if I offend anyone. I want to imprint an image in your mind, that's part of influence, is most of the medical community, and please, I say this respectfully and humbly, this is just an exaggerated, hyperbolized example, my only one, is the medical providers are like beaten dogs. And if you beat a dog long enough, when you try to give it food and water, what's going to happen? It's going to bite you, because it's going to think it's going to get hit again. And the medical community is so tired of hearing there's hope that they just don't want to try it. So they invent all these stories that that's going to happen. And I don't have a crystal ball, I can't say it's never going to happen. It just hasn't happened. And we filed hundreds of thousands of cases. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Anthony,
Can I speak to that? So, this applies to out of
can you
network?
speak louder?
Sorry, this applies to out of network. So you already don't have a relationship with that insurance company. So
they can't drop
so you can't drop you because you're not in network with them already. This doesn't apply
Hello.
to the in network.
That's why he's a neurosurgeon and I'm not. So thank you, Tony.
That's just yeah.
What Tony was saying is you're already out of network. Now, what's your name? Diana. It is, what if they drop me on my other in-network ones? Yeah, probably, maybe. We just haven't seen it. And the insurance companies are making so much money anyway, they just don't care. They're not even showing up to the arbitration table. And it's like 3 years. That's how much money they're making. That's going to change. There's going to be some compression. But right now, it's as blue ocean as you can imagine. Terry, you had a question?
No, same thing.
Okay.
It was the same.
Thank you. Any other questions on the model? Go once, go twice. Let's end this bad boy and go home. So what's the economic impact for the medical community? In 2024, we did an audit of all of our surgeons, neuro to anesthesia, large facility to smaller shop group, everything in between. And we ran our numbers and we saw that for the average surgeon who's doing 6 to 7 surgeries a month, we helped them recover $127,000 per month, which is $1.5 million per year to the pockets and family of that medical provider. $1.5 million per surgeon. So if a group of 10 surgeons did this, that's 1.5 million times 10. I think 1.5 million a year is most of the average income for most Americans. It is not a couple shekels or a bag of peanuts. It is significant and real income for the medical community. And then final, if you're not in the medical community, if you're in network, if this doesn't apply to you, then why were you all here? You're here because we want to generate business with you. We want to co-create an ecosystem merger where if you make recommendations of this medical community, the Tommies of the world, the medical associations of the world, the medical device reps, pharmaceutical reps of the world, and there's individuals that have relationships with these surgeons, we can create an economic relationship together. What does that mean? Is every member that invited you here has made an investment to be part of this business. You all do not have to, so hold on to your wallets. Nothing's being sold. You do not have to. You may consider that, but that's not why you were brought here. If you are interested in making money in this business, you can discuss with whomever invited you. And what we've done is the people that invited you have made a significant investment. They've invested about $100,000 to partake in this opportunity. That's how I went from 2 people to 187 to be precise. They all paid between 60 and 100 grand to be part of this business with me, with us. And they're able to receive 10% of our 20%. So out of that 127,000, our average 20% contingency was $25,000 per month. If you're earning 5%, which was what's available if you partner with someone, if you do not, I repeat, do not make an investment, that I say you don't have to make an investment, just want to make sure we're crystal clear, you can earn up to 5%, for example, which is about $15,000 per year per surgeon on an annual reoccurring basis. Now, if you want to make $1 million, that's 67 surgeons, and you're making $1 million a year reoccurringly. Fernando, I don't get it. I thought you said it was per encounter. Yeah. If Tommy has a surgery this month, is he going to have a surgery next month? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah. Is he going to have a surgery the next month? And the next month? And the next month? Maybe he's going to take a month-long vacation, go to Paris. Maybe that's going to dip a little bit. But it's not money forever. I would be horrifically lying and exaggerating. It is for the lifetime of the surgeon. So if you wanted to create a reoccurring revenue cycle process for revenue center for yourself, we can do that by making some strategic introductions. No one is forced to do that. You don't have to do that. But that answers all the questions. Who are we? Why should you care? What exactly do we mean by medical revenue recovery? How does the business model work? Where does the money come from? What's the economic impact to the surgeon? And what are the potentials that we can do together? And let's see. I only got 3 minutes and 45 to spare. Perfect. So any questions that I could answer on any of what just shared about anything at all, including what color my socks are? Any questions I could answer for anyone?
Okay, so as far as the doctor network things, this is like patients that are just coming in through the ER, doctors are going to take their full share of it, or this is like a regular surgeon. I had hip surgery, and I see this guy all the time, and I will check on some whatever. Would this apply to him as just a referral doctor versus emergency room doctor?
The answer is no, because there's in-network, there's out-of-network emergency room. What you're describing is out-of-network elective, which is, hey, I hurt my hip, I want to go to the best hip surgeon, we're going to do a fair faith estimate, and we're going to pay them 10 grand to work. There's no emergency dynamic. They're disclosing how much it's going to cost or paying cash. There's no surprise bill. So there's 3 categories. Category 1 are my surgeons on ER. That's 1. Category 2 are my inadvertent or auxiliary providers, which is I go to my orthopedic surgeon who's in network. I say, hey, I want to get my surgery at an in-network facility. But then there's a PA, physician assistant, an anesthesiologist, an intraoperative monitoring company who happens to be out of network. Those who qualify. And then there's a third that's a bit more nuanced, gray, and legal. I'm not even going to discuss it, but the surgeons who are ER, on-call, out-of-network commercial insurance, black and white. Inadvertent providers, black and white. The third one, a little gray. If you're interested, we can discuss more privately, but it would not count for the example you just gave. Thank you for the question. Any other questions before you enjoy your dessert? My name's Fernando Valencia. We're here from Cali Recovery. If you have any questions, I'm going to hang out and mingle. Please feel free to chat with whomever invited you. Thank you for your energy and attention, and enjoy the rest of your meal. Thank you.